Michael, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to
How
be
did
here.
you get into theater?
Oh my gosh. I was such a rambunctious child that my grandmother used to love to dance.
Okay.
And because I was so energetic, she would take me square dancing. Long before I can remember. Before the age of 5, even, I was in square dance outfits with, not the skirt, thank you, but little vests that would match my grandmother's square dance dresses. And I wasn't afraid to get on the dance floor. And I spent a lot of time in dance halls, which weren't bars back then. They were just legitimate dance halls with my grandmother. And I kind of had a talent for it. So they let me keep doing it. And when I danced, I sang. And I was encouraged to keep singing because I could sing in tune. And most little boys at the age of 7 wouldn't sing.
That's right. That's it. That's so cute.
Of course.
But hey, it's cute.
Yeah. I spent every Saturday night at 9 o'clock glued to the TV and watching the Burnett show, and I would memorize all of the routines.
Wow.
And for the whole next week, I would reenact all of the skits, all of the musical numbers, and all of the dance numbers that had been on Burnett the night before, or the week before. And so, by the time that I hit 2nd grade, I was already singing and dancing well enough. I auditioned for a fairly professional group, considering that it was a small town, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The Cedar Rapids Boys Choir. 2 boys were selected from each school in the entire city. And believe it or not, it was kind of cutthroat. It was the only show in town, so everybody wanted to be there. And I got in. So for 2 years, I was able to perform with them. And we finally got, because of being part of the Cedar Rapids Boys Choir, we got to participate in high school and college productions.
Wow.
So in 1974, I did my first musical. And it was just as being a chorus member, a choir boy for Fiddler on the Roof during the wedding scene. We were the boys' choir that sang at the wedding. And then the following year, I got to play the younger brother in a high school production of The Sound of Music. And I didn't stop. Everything that I could find. I auditioned for TV shows, even as a child. My grandmother would drag me down there, and we'd wait in line, and they'd pat me on the head. And, oh, that's a cute kid. Go away. Basically, because local TV doesn't want precocious children. So by the time, and I begged for voice lessons, and I got those. I begged for dance. We didn't have dance. We lived on a farm in Iowa. So I didn't get dance until I was in high school. So I thought I was way behind the curve. And by this time, I was performing state competitions and 2 shows a year and things like that. And so I auditioned at the end of my high school year and got a job at Six Flags doing one of their shows. And I never looked back. I never saw. It was just incredible. Everything I could audition for, everywhere I could go. Got a job teaching dance, which led me to Chicago. I got to audition for a couple of tours and traveled around for about 3 years or so. Got a little overly ambitious with it. Decided that I was ready to be a star. And unfortunately, announced that to my bosses.
Oh, yes?
Who I was like, you got to put me in front or I'm out of here. And so I was out of there. It was quite a lesson. I don't know. It made me a better person. I went back to college, got a couple of college degrees, took about 6 years off of the stage just to finish up grad school and such. And really had not been back into it much. Got transferred down to the Houston area. A friend of mine knew that previous history of doing lots of shows in theater. got me involved in the very short-lived Liberty County Players.
Yes.
And I was one of two people in their only show that they performed.
Okay.
We did love letters because we couldn't cast the real show that we had originally started to put on. And through that, I met a few people, and one of the people that I met was Brian Heaton, who then 3 months later calls me up in the middle of the night and invites me to participate in Ace Theater's Arsenic and Old Lace. They had lost a couple of people, and we're trying to fill in where I met your lovely wife. And subsequently, now, ever since then, I have done between 4 and 6 shows a year. I play at several different places, although I do consider Stage Right to be my home theater group, and I love playing at the Crighton. Oh my gosh, 100-year-old building, and the acoustics here, you wouldn't believe it. You guys got to come see this, because it's just phenomenal here.
Well, you've played at all different places. I mean, probably large places, small places.
I have, yeah. When I played in auditoriums that seated thousands. Right. When doing national tours. I've also played in places that there were more people on stage than there were in the audience. And for good reason at times. There were reasons why there were only 6 people in the audience at times. Have you ever seen Clue the musical? Oh, don't go. Okay. So, so it's been quite
what a
experience.
Well, let's go back. So the time when you're doing the touring, and for those that want to tour, what would you tell people?
Nowadays, from what I understand, an agent is very, very important. If you're interested, start early, start earlier. Whatever age you've started, you needed to start 2 years earlier. Get an agent, get involved, go to all the regional things, get your names out there, get your resumes, your photos. Major cities are where they stage. You will see the call boards where they Spamalot just auditioned both in LA, New York, and Houston. Right. So there are national tours that audition out here. 35 years ago, when I was first auditioning, did I really say 35 years ago?
We can edit that out.
I was 2 at the time.
Was that 25?
No, 25. No, 35 years ago, a lot of the tours for musicals were staged out of Chicago. So that's where I ended. That's where I went. Chicago, right. I got the tours because I knew a dance captain.
Yeah, well, it helps.
If you know somebody, use them. Use them often, yes. I literally did not have to audition for the second show because they knew me. Right. They called me and said, "Can you?" And I said, "Yes." So, there are jobs to be had. If your dream is film, get an agent, get to New Orleans or LA. Believe it or not, New Orleans has a lot of movie business. But if you're serious about it, take the time, take the lessons, get an agent, a reputable one. If they charge you anything, they're not reputable. Don't touch them. Everybody can be a movie star and a model if you pay enough to an agent. That doesn't mean you're ever going to work. Right. But do it, and do it often, and you can make a living here. But for everybody who wants to make a living in this industry, there are 1,000 people just as talented who never will. Right. So don't expect to be, Tom Cruise or Meryl Streep, but you can work. You can get good work. And my love, though, is the theater and on the stage. Well, same way with the movie industry. Right. If you want to be on the stage, you need to be in New York. Right. Young. Yeah. Early. Although I'm almost getting old enough to get the juicy older roles, too. Right. I'm outliving a lot of the actors who are my age. I survived the 80s, just for the record. I'm just saying. But if you want to be on Broadway, go. Audition. Do it now. don't wait. Because if you wait, you're less likely every moment that you let go by to ever do it.
Right.
You know? But there are people like me who are completely happy with local theater. The applause is no different at the Crighton Theater as it is on Broadway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They got two hands. They can clap.
Clap, you know? And it really is all for the applause. It's for the smiling, grateful faces at the end. I don't do it for me. I really don't. I want to make other people happy.
Right.
And once in a while, I have a knack for that.
Yeah. What's one of the more inspirational stories you've ever had about somebody telling you what you did for them? How it changed their life or some other?
Wow. I'm always the most grateful with our older patrons.
Right.
Who will be like, oh, you reminded me so much of my husband when he was still alive. Right. Or, I wish my son could have seen that, but he died years ago, and things like that. And just the moments that you can give back to, I do. I love the elderly patrons. They're so grateful for what you've done for them. And it makes you feel good. It justifies everything we've ever been through. Oh, yeah. Every late rehearsal, every pickup rehearsal. It makes it all worth it at the end. So
No, after some of the stories that we hear, how it has literally changed their life, saving them from suicide, the stories you wouldn't believe. Because a lot of times we just think, well, it's just a show. No, for some people, it's their life.
Absolutely.
It completely changes their life, which is amazing.
You can give them hope.
Yes. A hope. Amazing thing. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about those 6 years where you didn't do. What did you do those 6 years?
At graduate school.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm a speech pathologist with a specialization in neurology, so I do neuropathology. I work with fairly ill people with brain disorders. Light and fluffy work. People who can't remember, can't think, or can't swallow, or can't speak. And kind of like what I do on the stage, I try to give those people voices. I help them communicate, and I try to reach out and touch them. Not in a creepy way. I don't see it that differently from my nighttime job and my daytime job.
You just get paid a whole lot better.
The daytime job pays for the nighttime job. So this suit, and things like this. So I love what I do. I do, and there's no one that I know that needs it more. Right. You know, because a lot of time and energy is spent on things, the major illnesses and diseases, and not a lot is done with the people who don't tend to recover as well. And I think that each and every one of them deserves that opportunity to recover to the best of their ability.
Well, that's kind of endemic in Western medicine in general. We're not good at chronic illnesses. We're really good at acute. We'll fix that. Right. But if it's chronic, we just kind of ignore it.
Well, it's not profitable to cure the chronic.
That's right.
We need it to be chronic. We need it to be chronic so that we make money the next time. I just only a little. Yeah, that's what I do. During the day, I'm in scrubs all day long at a rehab hospital. I've worked acute care as well, and then I catch 45 minutes sleep, and then I head to the theater every night. So, and in my spare time,
Well, tell me about some of your favorite TV shows when you have time to see a TV show.
TV shows. Walking Dead. Oh my gosh.
Walking Dead.
The most incredibly well cast, well written, and well produced show on TV, bar none. Just brilliant work. And it's adapted from a comic book. I used to be a comic book freak. Still have a walk-in closet full,
Right.
wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling with comic books. Someday I will retire on, many years from now. Walking Dead, brilliant, which is ironic because as comedic an actor as I tend to be, and I really do love the comedy so much more, I tend not to watch comedies.
Right.
There's always an air of, I don't know, arrogance on my part. If I watch a comedy, I'm always like, I wouldn't have played that way. I would have done this differently that way. I can't enjoy it as much.
Well, it's probably true of most actors that go to see other shows. I mean, we're there to support our friends, of course.
Absolutely.
But in the back of our head, we're always thinking, I would have made this choice versus this choice.
Absolutely.
We still enjoy the show, but we still make those things. So even when you watch TV, same thing.
I love sci-fi, the bad sci-fi movies.
Right. Oh, you like Plan 9 from Outer Space, that kind of stuff?
Oh, no, like Super Gator versus Megatron, okay? I actually have a very good friend from high school who has starred in 3 or 4 of the sci-fi movies, Julie McCullough. And it's funny because she'll go, I got another movie. I was like, yeah, but did you watch it? Oh my gosh. It's horrible. But I enjoy them because they're mindless. You don't have to worry about timing or plot or acting and things like that. It's not for that. I suppose local theater could be argued the same way. It's not supposed to have acting and plot. It's just entertainment. So, other than that, if I go to a movie theater, it's either the most snobbish, uppity, arrogant foreign film you've ever seen. Oh yeah. Because I get them, and I guess I'm trained in college and things like that, so I understand them. I also understand why people make fun of them. Right. Or, and this is my standard rule of thumb. If I'm going to pay full price for a movie ticket, something better blow up or someone get murdered before the opening credits. Or I'm probably not going to before the opening credits. Or I'm probably not going to stay awake for the whole film. So
a good day to die hard. Body count. Car count. 134. Car crashes. All right, there we go.
Avengers. Oh my gosh, what a perfect movie. So I like to escape. I do like to escape. I can do good theater. Well, I can be involved with good theater. Sorry, didn't mean to sound bad. There we go. I've been involved in it. Wonderful, incredible theater. My escape needs to be a little more pedestrian, a little more fun, and a little more...
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with a little guilty pleasure, escapism. You know what? Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Doesn't mean we want to do it in real life. Just
True. Oh, I wouldn't mind being a superhero. If somebody wants to give me, liposuction and spandex and a power ring, I'm all there.
Well, let's talk about your family, because you've able to get all these things that you do. Like say you're acting your full-time job, and you still have time for wonderful kids that you also manage to bring to the theater. Oh yeah, I'm talking Michael and David. We already interviewed David.
Right. And my oldest son Christopher actually grew up in the theater as well, and he didn't get here as much, but. I was a single dad, and I had a choice to make. I was like, I could completely give up the theater, which I did for quite a while, or we as a family could come to the theater. Sure. Does it always work? No, absolutely not. Did it work in general? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I was very clear for years, and when I auditioned, I was like, either my kids are part of this, somehow, or I can't be in it. Sure. And for the most part, they were very receptive. I was only told one time, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And I said, that's no harm, no foul. I completely understood that too. And that was when the kids were quite young. So, I understand that. Not every theater can babysit. And I didn't see it as that. But,
but hopefully it was also growth opportunities for them too. Networking, it is for all of us.
Yeah, I think so. I won't do one without the other. Sure. My family is the most important thing to me. Yeah. And if they could be part of my other passion, that's great. Right. But But they're all old enough now.
Right.
My youngest will be 20 later this year. I was a child bride. So, you know, they've moved on to other interests as well. And I completely understand and respect that. They come see and come support the old man every once in a while.
Sure.
And I can't be more thrilled to have them.
What would you like to do that you haven't done yet?
Ooh, what?
Anything in theater, stage, film, whatever, voice.
There are some roles I would definitely like to play. They're on my bucket list.
Yes.
I'm old enough, almost old enough, to play a few of them. I want to do Tevye at some time in Fiddler. I would love to play Zaza in La Cage. I got the legs for it. Okay. I would love to do Hairspray, which I hear is happening.
Hint, hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Next summer.
Yep.
It's 2013, whenever this gets watched. Next summer. Okay. So there are roles. There were roles that I wanted to play that I'm just sadly 2 decades away from anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the way it is.
It's how it is. It's how it is. I'm also not thin enough to play some roles. So I can work on that, I suppose. You know.
No, we can all work on it.
We can all work on it. Yeah, exactly.
We can all work on that. Yeah.
And it's always funny. It doesn't dawn on me at times when I audition for something.
Right.
You know, that maybe I'm too fat to play a certain role.
Well, to anything, too old, too young, whatever, you know, our mind stays eternally young.
Exactly.
The mind still thinks you're 20, even though the
I
body
still have
reminds you.
hair in my mind, you know. A lot more of this, you know. But what would I like to do? What would I like to do? Other than that, I would love to be on Broadway. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Be on Broadway?
Yeah.
You know, once.
Yeah. But you toured. I mean,
I did tour. Don't get me wrong. But it wasn't. It was.
Yeah, but still.
The tour.
Yeah.
It was the tour. I got to work with some incredible people. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Juliet Prowse. I got to dance with Juliet Prowse.
Wow.
I've been on stage with Cheetah Rivera, for God's sake.
Wow.
I've been in the pit playing for. I used to play timpani as well.
Right.
I've been in the pit playing for Betty Buckley.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've gotten some incredible experience. But there could always be one more bow, one more show.
Yeah.
You know,
I look at some of the folks that are still working. You know, early Sportnine worked in his 90s.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, doing SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, hey, it's a paying gig. Take it. You know,
look at Betty White.
Betty White is still going. You know, that's
absolutely.
Amazing. Angela Lansbury. You know, mid-80s, still doing stuff on Broadway.
Still nominated for...
And still nominated.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's like, I want to be like that. I want to keep working.
Exactly.
At least do what you love.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had always pictured myself taking a final bow and just falling over.
Well, do what you love, and that's it. You know?
Yeah. But if it has to happen, I want it to happen on a stage. You know,
right?
It's just like, thank you, good night. Dead.
Where would you like to go that you haven't been yet?
Where would I like to go?
Yeah, you'd like to go.
I get to go to London this summer, which that's been a dream of mine.
But when in London?
The last week of July.
Oh, we're gonna miss you. We're early because we're there in mid-June. We'll be in there mid-June. Yeah,
that would be wonderful. But we are singing at St. Albans in Westminster.
Ooh.
So I get to see London. I've always wanted to see that. I dream of going to Rome.
Yes.
There really is nowhere in Europe that I don't want to be. I want to see the world. I really do. I would love to see, every real continent. Antarctica, oh please. Sorry, couldn't resist. Thanks. But yeah, travel. Gosh, there's so much of the U.S. I haven't seen.
Oh yes,
that I want to see.
A lot of beautiful places.
And that's almost more important to me than Upper West Coast. I've never seen.
Really? Yeah. I don't think I've seen it either. Actually, just passing through doesn't count.
Because the places that I've been,
right,
you would pull in on a bus,
right,
you would go to a theater,
right,
you got a day to set up,
right,
you went to a nightclub one night.
Right.
Other than that, you played 5, 6 shows, and you left again.
You don't really know the place.
No. You didn't even know where you were every time. Like, what's Tacoma?
Right.
Tacoma?
Did it ever get to be where it would just seem like just another place?
Oh, it was all, well, yes.
Yeah.
It was, you don't own anything.
No.
Everything you have is packed in bags by other people.
Right.
You get one little bag of your own stuff.
Right.
And you get to a point where you don't know.
The food's all the same, even though it isn't. But you know what I mean.
Right.
When you travel, and it doesn't matter whether it's a theater, tour, or whatever. When you start traveling a lot, it starts like, I want to go home. Whatever that is.
Correct. Yeah. And you don't know it until you're out there.
That's right. It seems glamorous and it seems new.
Oh, of course.
Of
course. I would never change those days.
No, absolutely
for
not.
anything. But yeah, it was lonely. It was lonely.
Yeah,
you can't imagine that surrounded by
loneliness,
cast and crew and people who love you every show. You know?
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. That
almost from afar.
They don't know you.
No.
At all.
No.
You know, I didn't even dance under my own name, so it wasn't like anybody really, I was like, who can pronounce my name? Who can pronounce it the way I wrote? So I never even danced under my own name.
Wow.
So, it's like, there's nobody who could have known me.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, you said you played music, too. So you studied music in college?
I did in junior high and high school.
Right.
I played percussion, and then I got into semi-professional orchestra in Dallas, and played with them
when?
For oh my gosh, when?
80s?
Late 80s through mid 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, and played in the Dallas area for several groups.
Wow.
Things like that.
We could have seen you and not even known it.
You may have.
We were living in that area that time.
We played for the Turtle Creek Chorale. We played a lot of different things. But we would get jobs with... I know, right?
Ooh.
I know. But I played timpani.
Yep.
And, which is... I guess that's fairly rare because they called me up and they're like, somebody needs a timpanist. Can you come play?
Just like that.
Oh, just like that. It would be literally, it would be a Wednesday night.
Right.
We need to play for 3 hours on Friday. Can you join us? Great. I'll be happy to.
Wow.
So I played, If it was performing arts, I've tried it. I didn't say it was great. I just tried it. So exactly. I would have never gotten any scholarships on percussion, but I definitely was able to play for several years. So.
All right, I'm going to ask the question we've been asking everyone.
Okay.
If heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly gates?
Boy, did you get it wrong. No. What do I want?
Yeah.
What do I want to say? You did okay, kid. Yeah. Thanks for the effort. Yeah, that's what I want.
Hopefully we get to see some friends up there.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Glenn and some of the other folks. With the bear hug.
No. I definitely believe that there is theater in heaven. Mm-hmm. I know who I'm going to be acting on stage with. I've already planned this all out. And be perfectly honest, it's none of your business. But I don't see my time on stage stopping. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be a theater ghost somewhere for all of eternity, probably. So when you see those lights flickering in the dressing rooms.
Michael, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much, Steve.